All right, our top focus is Mahesh Bhupathi Leander Paes war that just seems to be dragging on. India's non-playing captain for Davis Cup, Mahesh Bhupathi, has refuted Leander Paes' claims over the decision to drop him from the Davis Cup team against Uzbekistan. Paes has had claimed that if he wasn't to be selected in the team for the tie against Uzbekistan, he should have been informed over phone, and he wouldn't have then flown down to Bangalore. Paes even questioned the criteria for team selection. India Today has exclusive details, and these are only on India Today. You won't find them anywhere, of the WhatsApp messages that were exchanged between Leander Paes and Mahesh Bhupathi, the two legends, which make it clear that Bhupathi never guaranteed Paes a place in the Davis Cup team. Boria Majumdar, consulting sports editor, who accessed these WhatsApp messages with us. You know, Boria, as you were discussing about this ongoing tussle, and you were talking about it's not, you know, very good for the team if this sort of an environment they go into just a day before a crucial Davis Cup tie. How does it affect the Indian tennis and especially the Davis Cup team, Boria?
You know, it's unfortunate. I mean, ultimately, Mahesh and Leander, as you said at the end of the last bulletin, are two legends of the game. I mean, why don't these two reconcile? And one must give credit to Mahesh in this instance, that Mahesh did not refute Leander's claims the day before the tie, because then the focus shifts. The focus shifts from this off-field, the on-field thing, to this off-field controversy. Rather, you know, today is different. India has won the tie 4-1, and then you can go ahead and put things in place, put a structure in place. And this is not a question of Leander Mahesh. It's a question of discipline. It's a question of being respectful towards your players. And if you read these exchanges, March 5th, Mahesh tells Leander clearly that you will be in the 6, but perhaps not in the 4. If that means you want to play a challenger and not come to Bangalore, please do that. And he also says, when Leander says, so what about your doubles combination? And he says, I am leaning towards Bopanna in the faster courts. So clearly, Mahesh had given Leander every possible, you know, detail or every possible idea or hint what his thought process was. Thereafter, to sort of accuse that transparency was missing, you know, team selection was not fair, is not befitting of a legend of Leander Paes.
You know, Boria, also, it also puts forward the view that, and no disrespect to the laurels that Leander Paes has got to Indian tennis, the kind of achievements that he has had, but it's also putting one player, you know, over the team. Mahesh Bhupathi made it clear that for him the combination is more important than the emotional connect or the emotion that Leander Paes does carry, or the stretcher that Leander Paes carries. That is something possibly people would have expected a legend like Paes to understand, isn't it?
You know, for me, and I've said this in every possible show, in every sport, irrespective of any particular sport, Ankit, it's India. Whoever you are, ultimately India comes first, the team comes first, whatever is in the interest of the team comes first. And here you are spot on. I mean, Leander is a very dear friend, and he's perhaps the greatest legend Indian tennis has seen. Look at his record. But in this instance, to say what he did one day before the tie was unfair. And I'm taking a moral position here. I'm not accusing anyone. I'm saying someone of the stature of Leander Paes should not say or should not accuse anyone of transparency. If it was a problem, he and Mahesh were together. He should have just walked up to Mahesh and said, what is the problem, and clarified it there and not come out in the media. It is unwarranted. One day before the tie, team interest, because what it also does is it shows disrespect towards the other players, towards Rohan Bopanna, towards Balaji, towards Guneshwaran, towards Ramanathan, Ramkumar, all of them. India has now won the tie, and thank goodness for that. Otherwise, you and I would tend to think that there were fractures and fissures and rifts within the team. That's not what is healthy for Indian tennis. And for God's sake, these controversies should be put to rest so that Indian tennis can benefit in the long run.
Well, you're spot on there, Boria. Joining us now is my colleague Shobit to take this discussion forward. Shobit, over to you.
Absolutely, Boria. There are three messages over here that I'd like to discuss with you. Of course, this all comes after, on the eve of the tie against Uzbekistan, Leander Paes accused Mahesh Bhupathi and the team of not being transparent in this selection. Now, remember, Leander Paes was just one shy of becoming the most successful doubles player. He was left in the Davis Cup, mind you. He was left out of the squad, after which he gave those statements. Now, Boria Majumdar has accessed these text conversations between the two legends of Indian tennis, not just Indian tennis, Indian sport. Boria, the first message is on 5th March, and we have that message right over here. We'll play it out on the screens as well. Now, this is a message from Mahesh to Leander, Boria, isn't it? And he says that, I'm not sure if you've left for the States, but I have told AITA that the plan for this tie is 3 singles guys against Uzbekistan. So Mahesh Bhupathi, the non-playing captain, was pretty clear from March itself, 1 month ago, what his team selection is likely to be.
Absolutely, and he also goes on to say, when Leander asks in the next message, and what about your doubles team? And he says, Rohan Bopanna is my preference given the faster courts in Bengaluru. Yes, I will wait for a final decision till the last moment. And he clarifies to Leander that you should only come. I've been told that you want to play a challenger. You should only come if you are okay being in the 6 and not in the final 4, because there's no guarantee to that. In fact, there were enough hints to say you will not be. See, my point
Boria,
is,
I'd request you to hold on. We've got Dr. Wes Paes, the father of Leander Paes, joining us on the phone line. Dr. Paes, first of all, welcome to India Today. Now, these are text conversations that India Today has accessed between Mahesh Bhupathi and Leander Paes, both legends of Indian tennis. Now, as per these conversations, Doctor, it seems pretty clear that Mahesh Bhupathi did inform Leander about a month back what his likely team selection would be. Why did Leander then come out with the statements accusing the team of not being transparent?
See, I don't want to rake this situation any further. They both made their comments, and I would like to leave it at that. Having said that, Leander was not told earlier that he would not be picked. He was told very clearly it depends on form, and you have a good chance.
Right. My consulting editor Boria Majumdar is also live with us. Boria, you want to ask questions to Dr. Wes Paes?
Doc, you know, these exchanges, and I mean, obviously we are going with what we have, and these exchanges are between Lee and Hesh. And according to these exchanges, Mahesh is very clearly saying that his pick is Bopes, and you know, he's leaning towards Rohan in the faster courts of Bangalore. All I'm saying is, what was the need to rake up this controversy 1 day before the tie? What is the point? Because that, for me, perhaps is showing disrespect towards the other players. Would you say that the timing, at least in this case, Lee got it wrong? 1 day before the tie, Mahesh was there, he was there. Why go to the media?
Mahesh, without being accusatory, because one gives due respect to Mahesh as the team captain, as well as for what he's achieved, and one obviously respects Leander. So I think it's gone into an area of I said, he said. Because as far as Leander is concerned, and what I've been told is that Mahesh went to the night there on Thursday night, on Wednesday night, the day before the draw, that he would not.
Right, Dr. Paes, Leander also mentions form, and of course Leander just won his first tournament of the year in Mexico on Sunday. He came back and joined the team in Bangalore on Wednesday. So do you think his grouses, had he been told while he was in Mexico, he would have continued playing the ATP tour?
He would have. That's been going on for years. It's not an issue, it's a problem. We had Leander and Mahesh at their prime, playing in most finals, semi-finals of
Absolutely.
Major tournaments before the Davis Cup, and hence they would come in on Tuesday or Wednesday for the Davis Cup. And they've done this innumerable times. Suddenly it's become an issue. It is better that they play in tournament mode in one of the ATP tours and then come in for the Davis Cup, rather than play practice at the Davis Cup with players who are below the standards of Leander and Mahesh.
All right,
so it's a moot question.
Right.
Most people play on tour and they'll be
right.
most of the top players.
Boria, go ahead.
You know, Shobit, Doc and I are very close friends. I mean, I beg to differ. And with due humility and modesty, I say this is not the Leander of 1999 and not the Mahesh of 1999 who are world number one. I mean, you know, all the other players are in Bangalore on a particular date. If it's about a team and it's about the team ethic, you come and join, jolly well who you are. If that is the rule laid down by AITA, you follow that rule. I mean, that's the whole team code. I mean, yes, to say what has happened in the past cannot be taken as an example. This is not the world's number one doubles team coming here. This is a team struggling. Leander Paes is not the Leander Paes of 5 years back or 10 years back. And when you know that these exchanges have happened between Mahesh and Leander in March, you have to come. What about the other players? They could have also played challenger tournaments, and this was not a Masters. This is not a Grand Slam. This is a challenger tournament. These other players could also play challenger tournaments, and they can say that, you know, we are being discriminated against. There cannot be two rules for the team. There has to be one rule, and that one rule will be applicable to everybody.
Absolutely. The bottom line is that this certainly does not bode well for Indian tennis, with two absolute legends of Indian sport, questioning each other in public. I'd like to thank Boria Majumdar as well as Dr. Paes for joining us for that breaking. It's time for a short break now. After the break, India Today's Group Editorial Director Publishing, Raj Changappa, brings you this special.